Hi, I'm Jim, and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop. And yes, the flannels are back. It's cold outside. It's raining all day. It's damp, and I hate winter. I got a couple items here to do a review on. This one they sent to me first, and I looked online. I said, hey, wait a minute. You're showing another item that's not in this box that looks like it goes together as you use this. So they sent that to me too, but it's got different company names. So I can't figure that out. But anyway, this, gotta make sure I got the right name here. And I can't pronounce these. I'm not even gonna try. This is the name of this company. I hope you can see that. It's Newacalox. Yeah. And this one, this is the company name for that one. It's Noevsbig. Don't get me going on pronunciations because I've never been good on that. But this looks like it would be very useful. Basically, they sent this to me because they seen one of my videos. It must have been my shop tour because I mentioned the table I have in the back corner, or actually it's the front corner of the building, that's all wrapped up, has a sheet covering it. That's my wife's jewelry setup. And I do some too. Typically what we do is we find something we kind of like and we bring it home and change it. We make it our own style. This thing, this is what it looks like. It's got a bunch of arms, it's got a clamp, it has a vise, it's got a magnifying light. This thing is pretty unique. It's called the Magnetic Helping Hands. It provided with a 3-year after-sale service. Now, some terminology loses a lot in the translation program that they use. I'm thinking that's a 3-year warranty, but hey, I don't know. But let's put this thing together. I mean, there's a lot of pieces. So if you get bored, speed it up. Here's the arms. Here's the alligator clips. Here's a vise. A nice little, we'll put that neatly over there. Nice little aluminum vise with, get this open far enough. It has rubber pads in the jaws. And somewhere in here they send you, oh yeah, right here, they send you extra ones. And let's see, we have a cube. It's like a charging cube, but this is the power cube for the light. And here's the light. It's a cute, very small. It's LED lit. It has a 3 magnification lens on it. Like I said, this is going to take a while. So if I think it's too boring myself, I'll speed it up. It won't let go. I don't know how they get these bags on here. It's got to go over top of the cord somehow. You know what? We're just going to leave it on. Now, all this stuff has magnetic feet or bases on it. Good grief. And what does it stick to, you're asking me? this nice solid steel plate. Has a hole in it. Maybe that's to hang it on the wall when you're not using it. I don't know. It comes with 4 anti-skid rubber feet. We'll put them on later. It comes with these handy little gadgets. These are standoffs for the, I guess I should have got some scissors out. Oops. We lost that one. Down here somewhere. These are standoffs. And they stick on this plate. So if you're doing some soldering to a motherboard and you don't want the plate to act as a heat sink, you can stand this thing on them. Or you can maneuver them so it's sitting on the edge of them. And the points will stand up above the motherboard so it won't slide around and slide off the points. And these are the little alligator clips. Now, I don't think you're going to be using all this stuff at once on this one board because there's a lot of stuff. We'll put some of these alligator clips on here because I want to do some soldering on it. Now these helping hand things have been around for a long time. It's got little thumb screws that go into these arms. Oh yeah, I can see with my big fingers this is going to be a trip. I mean, they don't come off very easy. You got a lot of holding power. I guess. We're just going to put 2 of these together. That's little thumb screws, and it goes into a hole in the top that this alligator clip goes into. And these also have padded jaws on them. Because you know most alligator clips, that's why they call them alligator, they have teeth in them. And you don't want to scratch something all up with the teeth, so they put pads on it. We'll put the rest of them together later. I have 4 of these. But they sent me 10 of these. Must be something else they go on, or they just sent me extras. I don't know. Now this is the clamp that I seen on the one in line, and that's why I asked them about this. Now somewhere on here I read, believe it or not, I actually read this. Oh, it wasn't on that side. Oh, maybe it was online when I watched the video on it. But this thing has like 3 different colors as far as the hue or the color of the light. And it has, I don't know how many different brightness settings. I guess it depends what you're working on how bright you want it. Here, I don't know if you can see the different color. Probably not. Something that don't glare so bad. And the brightness I can see it dimming. It doesn't dim a lot on each time you do it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Has 10 different brightness settings. Now this gadget, well, I don't see anything else these alligator clips go into. So apparently they send you 6 extra clips and little thumb screws, which is kind of nice. Well, that's different. When you loosen up this one knob to adjust this, it also loosens up this at the same time. We got some new indicator bases at the shop that work like that. One knob adjusts everything. Yeah, this up here too. But by the time they came out with them, they're so darn expensive. I didn't want to buy one. I knew I was going to retire. Screw this little clamp on here. Now you could also use this for a vise, but from what I've seen online, let me get some of this stuff out of my way. Goodness. Well, very carefully put that off to the side. Yes. This I will have to say I played with a little bit. And pretty nice outfit. There again is the name. I can't see what you're looking at. Attachments. I got to show you them. This is the unit. This is a hot air gun. And believe me, it gets hot. Now, if you're gonna play with this thing or use it, you have to put this cradle on the side of the panel for the controller. How it exactly works, I have not figured that out yet. But when you're using this thing, you can't just shut it off because it gets too hot to just shut the thing off. Once you lay it in this cradle, it kills the power to the coil that's creating the heat in it, but it continues blowing the fan to cool the unit down. If I can get the screw in that little tiny hole. So what happens if you just unplug it, all the heat that's still radiating off of this coil is going to be inside of this plastic handle. And that's not going to be good. You just hang in it. I can't see anything that would make that do that. I'm going to have to figure it out because that's just the way I am. We'll plug this in. They don't give you a lot of directions as far as some things work. Except for don't shut it off without letting it cool down. I got this cranked up to 900 degrees, and believe me, it gets hot. But I don't know if you can watch this. Can you see the reading on that dial? As soon as I hang this up, it shuts off the power to the coil, but yet the air is still going through it to cool this thing down. Now, just in case some of us guys don't read the directions and we just shut it off, I can't believe they do this, but they sent an extra heating coil that goes inside this handle. I don't know if that's good or bad. Do they send it because most of us don't read directions? Or did they send it because they frequently burn up? I think it's probably the first one. They don't tell you what this is. Now, you had me stumped for a couple of seconds, but I've used to do a lot of soldering. My sister and all her girlfriends back in the 70s, she's 3 years older than I am. She was 3 years older than I am. They all had these huge charm bracelets. And she must have had 100 of them on there, but some of them were quite heavy. And if you didn't solder the ring that held the charm to the chain, you would lose your charm. So that was my job. Every time any one of these girls bought a new charm, which was quite frequently, I had to solder them up. This is a solder extractor or a solder sucker, whatever you want to call it. You prime it by pushing this handle down, and it locks. Then when you heat up something you have soldered, you want to get the solder off so when it cools, it doesn't re-solidify and harden. I guess them are both the same terminology. You push this little black button, and when that plunger pops up, it creates a vacuum and it sucks the solder off the board or whatever you're working on. That's a handy outfit. Then they give you a bunch of tips to go on the soldering gun. There, see, this thing cooled down as much as it thought it needed, so it shut itself off. As soon as you pick it up, though, it turns itself back on. I just want to put this tip on here without getting burned. Okay, they give you a pair of very fine, them are fine. Wow, that would be nice for pulling slivers out. Tweezers. And they give you a curved, very pointed, fine tweezers. And then they give you this thing. Honestly, I haven't played with this, so I have no clue what this is. It's got a funny little wire. I don't know if you can see that. I suppose I gotta look in the book. Oh, Lord. It doesn't have a picture of everything you get, nor does it tell you what it is. So I'm not sure what this does. I'll tell you what, I'll play with that. And it comes with a small little sheet metal screw that must go in this hole. But what you do with the wire, That'll be the next video. Now, let's take this light off of here. I'll tell you, some of them really hang on. I'm just going to shut this off because this is supposed to fit in here. So if you're soldering something, you don't have to hold the gun. That's why I kind of wanted them to send it to me all at once so I could show you how this thing works. Now, over the years, like I said, companies have come out with these things. I borrowed this from the shop because I had one. This was $9.98. I had a pair of these. Let me take them out. And these are called Helping Hands. The pair I had, I believe, even had a little magnifying glass on there, but they're pretty useless. You can't maneuver the alligator clips anywhere but on each end of this rod. They don't move. So mine went in the garbage, and I do a lot of soldering at the shop. One of the machines at the shop, I had to completely rewire it. And it had, I think, 19 wires going from the head through the machine into the controls in the back. And some of them wires had 19 to 28 conductors. Sorry. Most all of them had to be soldered and heat shrunk together. So I made this thing, which works pretty good, but it's so lightweight, if you bump it at all, it moves. So this is going to be taking the place of this, if I can keep it away from the wife, because she found out about it and she's thinking this is going to be really nice for her jewelry work. Can't blame her. So we'll take this out of here, put it back in the holder, turn this thing back on. We'll take that off. Tell you, them magnets really grip. These are very maneuverable. You can put them anywhere you want them. And we're going to solder up some wires. Right offhand, I don't even know what size that is. I'm thinking about a number 29. You can see that wire. These are just, you can put them anywhere you want them. Very nice. I don't want to get them too close. I don't want to melt my little protectors on the end of the wire, or on the end of the alligator clips. Very easy to get them where you want them. I don't know if you can even tell I got wires in there, but we'll solder them up. And you also have a fan control on here to get it going whatever speed you want. Has a button on here for Fahrenheit and Celsius. We'll leave it on Fahrenheit because Celsius just confuses the heck out of me. That's it. That's pretty fast. A little glob of solder on there. I probably put too much on, but it melted so fast it took me by surprise. Very nice. Very useful. Let's try a little bit bigger wire. I don't know what size this is. It says on there, by golly. Number 22. So that one had to be way smaller than 22. Probably a 26 or 28. I don't know if I can get this on here so I can see and keep it out of my way to solder it. Can't really tell where I'm blowing my heat. Oh, I bumped it. Boy, I sure wish I had this at work when I rewired that machine. Very nice job. This is coming down temperature-wise. I don't know if you can see the numbers or not. You might be able to hear the fan run. When it gets down to just 3 dashes, then it's safe to shut it off so you don't burn up the gun. We're still at 460 degrees. But why these things have different names, company names, but yet they're the same, I don't know. Maybe I could write them an email and ask them. Let's, the nice part about this heat gun is you can heat up an item. If you ever tried to take a part off a motherboard and replace it, some of them have a lot of terminals that go through the board that's soldered. And if you use a regular soldering gun, it's extremely hard to get all of those heated up at the same time to pull it out. Where this is supposed to, I did pull out a resistor. Oh, now I had the 3 dots on there, or 3 dashes, so I could have shut it off safely. So we'll see what we do here on getting off one of these resistors. It's hard to tell when the solder's soft enough to remove it, because the solder's on the bottom side of the board and the part's on the top side. If I can get a hold of it. There's one. That one sat too long, it cooled off. But I had 2 of them off. And it's loose again. You gotta be quick. Well, this solder sets up fast. There's another one. It's a little resistor. This is a junk motherboard. I'm not tearing apart the shops and then try to put it back together. But we'll safely put that over there. This is a nice little outfit. It also, here's the vise that also comes with it. And again, these magnets are unbelievable how much power they have. This is a, I believe, yes, it's an aluminum vise, so you will have to be careful on how far you torque down on it. But if you're tightening it down on some jewelry or a motherboard or a resistor, you're not going to crush it down in there too tight anyway. This is quite a nice outfit. Now the cost of this thing, I don't know if I can, they were supposed to send me a link to put on the videos, and I don't know if they did or not. So I'm gonna have to go back and check that out and see what it looks like. And I'll put that on, I'll put that in the description below this video. Because, hey, Christmas is coming up, and if you have anybody that does hobby work, I think this would be a nice little station for them to work with. It's called the Helping Hands Rework Station. I think that's what this is, a Rework Station. Okay, now finally, I have the 3 dotted lines and the fan shut off. So it's cool enough at this point where I can shut it off and I don't have to worry about melting anything. My wife wouldn't be happy if I ruined her new toy. But hey, it's as far as I can see, it's a nice little outfit. There's the other 2 arms, so you get 4 of these arms. These little thumb screws are kind of hard to get in with my fat fingers. So in case you do get a little over anxious and melt one of your alligator clips, they give you 6 extra ones and thumb screws. There's 3 different sizes of cones on here. This is a large one. This is the medium-sized one. And that's not that cool yet. And that's the small one. I think that's the one I would use the most, unless you're doing something really delicate, you don't want to melt it. I would probably use that one the most, more than these. But when I get done uploading this, I will check out the actual email they sent me for a link, and I will put a link in the description for the Helping Hands and the Rework Station. I guess that's what they call it. So this is the paperwork that came with that. And it's called a Rework Station. And this is an actual book. It's got some information in it. This is all you get with this thing. It don't say too much on the back, and it doesn't say a lot on the front. I think it says, according to the picture here on the bottom, it has 3 different color settings and 10 different brightness settings on this thing. Nice little outfit. I really like it. In the next few weeks and days, I'll be doing a little more with this and see how I really like it, or really think of it. I'm sure she'll be using it for some jewelry work, and if she does, I'll let you know what she thinks about it. A couple of things I wanted to mention that I forgot about is I have a Weller soldering gun. I've had this since probably the mid-70s. They've been around forever. It has 2 settings. It's 100 watt or 140 watt. The only thing that I don't like about these, and I use this for all the soldering at work on this last machine, you have to make physical contact with the wires that you're trying to solder to transfer the heat. And the same with one of these little pencil soldering guns that has a controller similar to this. You have to make physical contact with it. And as shaky and as old as I am, I'm always bumping the wires too hard or pushing them apart, and then I have to stop, reposition them, and try it again. This thing, you don't have to touch the wires. You don't have any problem with that. Because you're working with the hot air. You also have a setting on here where you can turn this up and down. Right now, I don't know if you can see, it's safe to shut it off. But you have an up and down control where you can turn the heat to any setting you want. I had it on 900. And it's running down right now. I don't know how low it will go. Looks like the lowest it'll go is 212 degrees. And it's safe to shut it off. I had it up to 900 when I was soldering, and it is so much faster than that Weller gun. It's hard to imagine how much easier it is to braze, to solder, or to take something apart with this thing. Awesome gift. Christmas is coming up. If you have any DIYers in your family, or people that do computer work, if they're a hobbyist, they do jewelry work, this would fit into a lot of different hobbies and businesses. The only problem I can see right now that you might have down the road is your light might quit working. But if it does, you still have your magnifying glass, and I have enough light in here where I don't really need the illumination that this puts off. But it does help if it's working for you. But even if that goes bad, it's still an awesome tool to have in your arsenal of tools. I don't have anything like that myself. The wife's gonna love it for what she does, and I'll probably get some use out of it myself. So I guess until next time, work safe, have fun, Christmas present, and I'll talk to you later. So long.